be surprised when you tell me dumb shit.
I don't know. I thought you didn't think. I thought that was a reaction of like, oh, that's not a big. That means Falconer put that fucking his signature on, let alone God knows the other ones.
Yeah.
Wait, so is it just a copy pasta?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
Oh
just,
my god.
I'm numb at this point.
I think we got to put that on. So I told him we're going to hold back his papers. I think that's
Just his?
yes.
Okay.
I think that's political strategy. And as I was talking to him, I said he's reached out. He was genuinely honest. And what I mean by that is we haven't been around. He didn't have to tell me he didn't sign it. He made it really clear that he's been one of the dissenting voices, which we need. And when I say we need, I mean we the people, right?
Yeah.
Like, did he do wrong? 100%. But you can't make everyone your enemy. You need people. We need him being somewhat aligned with us is better than, tackling all of them. I say we fire it hot. We fire it Weiss, and then we do those two first. I think that's the political maneuver. And then we give it 2 days for Falconer and Arcadia.
Arcadia, yeah. Do we include
and
that
what we're
information?
holding that on is we hold it on the principle of let's see if they try to go up for the defense of Weiss and Hart, and if they do, then we fire that gun. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So then it's like, you get what I'm saying? We're sending that message. You want to protect them? All right, fine. You're on the barbecue too.
Yeah. Okay. Should we? I mean, we have 2 days now then, but should we include in the articles against Falconer that he was putting signatures on there that
Yes.
he didn't? Okay.
Can I put a little bit of pushback just for consideration?
Yes.
Those 2 days gives them opportunity to interfere in ways that we may not expect them to. That may expand the scope. It might actually end up helping us, but it may become a hindrance.
That's a good point. I'm saying a 2-day window. In other words, it's prepared. And we're definitely going to do it in 48, but we can do it sooner than that. I want to hear the peep and then the boom. You know what I mean? So we're not going to wait an entire 48, but rather we're going to keep the gun loaded. Definitely fire in 2 days, but could be sooner.
Okay.
So just for your information, the word has gone to me that McNee's is looking for me as representation. But if we're pushing papers, I'd rather work on this side.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know what? I think that 2 days is good because by then the deadline will be here for the FOIAs that I put in, which will, if we get them, right, will affirm what McNee's said because I asked for the record of the vote and the document history.
Love
how
it.
How the document was created. So I think this makes sense procedurally.
Yes. And the Falconer and Arcadia one is a more delicate one. I think as I read this, and I want to highlight this, is we have allegations in here, and please correct me if I'm wrong. We need to make sure that we have the evidence attached. And if we don't, we already have the witnesses named on who we need to call to establish those statements. And the reason I say that is that way, if they go and try to politic them, if we put this out without the witness names and we're like, yo, hey, they talked to Nakota, right? That means they can freely go talk to Nakota and be like, hey, watch out. Like, hey, what is this? But if he's witnessed on there and they go and do it, it's witness tampering.
Right.
So that's the little bit we have to iron out.
Can we potentially collect sworn statements in the meantime from anybody who's willingly?
I mean, the two we need would be Sean Danielson and Jana Pierce.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
And I think I don't know, Serenade, if you have closer ties to them than I do. If you do, by all means, go for it. If not, I can happily reach out.
I think you should.
I probably don't.
Okay, then I will. Yeah.
I think
realistically, what we need them to affirm is that they took out a loan from them, right? The statement can literally say that much. In Jana's case, it could state that there was a plan to charge her via impeachment for the state announcement. But as long as those two things are in there, that covers really the allegations we're making.
Yeah. This is smart, right? Because we don't want to misfire this.
Mm-hmm.
And that docket posting is not just a, it's a matter of public record. It's got to be solid. I want, regardless of how it goes, when people read that, they're like, oh shit, this isn't just like coming out of their ass. Like, you know what I mean?
Evidence.
Yep.
Well, and to that end, because it's now public record, we can literally pull from Barrett's ACRs, right? So I put his evidence in ours because we're making the same case, just in a different way.
The fact that that he said that my signature was on it, literally like blew my mind.
Yeah.
How?
Well, then it leads me to believe that the vote never did happen then.
Yeah, how can we affirm that that actually happened if a justice is already saying, hey, I didn't sign that?
Right, exactly. So if Sean goes to satisfy my FOIA request and says there is no record of a vote, we have them on another ground of violating the legislative process.
Oh my God.
Right?
That is so crazy. See, this is why we need McNee's, because him on the stand is going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I know I may come across like I'm having a soft spot here. I do, but I have a soft spot for people who tell the truth in these matters, right? He was not hiding anything. And if anything, he came in a little hot, like what the fuck is Barrett doing? But very quickly, I saw someone that was immediately willing to take responsibility, and that's what the DOJ needs. That's what public office should be about, because and we have to covet those kind of people, and right now.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt on your behalf. It's disappointing that it takes an impeachment to get him into the city.
I think that is true. He told me that he is doing it because they need the dissenting voice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, let me make this correlation, right? I get calls from Christian Toe and Arthur Lionheart all the time about how there's troubles with the flight side. And it's because Nick Simone comes around every 3-4 weeks, right? And there's a pile of shit for him to do when he comes in. But it piles up because he's not here. It's the exact same problem that we're seeing with the DOJ. And it's annoying that it takes an impeachment to get them to come in when what the city needs is warm bodies present.
Yeah.
So shit doesn't pile up, right? But like I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think the strategy is sound.
Yeah, I think go for the big ones before the It's like we're doing a filter process, right?
Mhm.
Filter out the bad ones, get the ones that are somewhat willing to align with us, and the methodology, you know, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I think that's the move.
I think
So-
when we talk about of the people named here who were the most problematic, I think McNee's is just inherently at the bottom of the list because the only allegation we have against him is that we haven't seen him. Everyone else has done exponentially dumber shit, right?
Agreed.
So
I am still fucking mind blown that there's there. What if? Wait a minute. What if he didn't even? What if they wait? If that was had no signatures, what about the fucking rest?
yeah.
Mhm.
Holy fuck!
I highly doubt any of the lower sitting judges had any chance to put in input either.
Oh, they don't. I know that they don't. Because I've talked about legislation that we've collaborated on. I think it was the legislative proposal process with a member of the judiciary, and they said, "Oh, they've never seen that." So,
Well, regardless, I do think this is an opportunity that, should everything go as planned, we can capitalize to restructure the Department of Justice.
Yeah, I will say that he seemingly was open to my. People need to hold the DOJ accountable. If I am so I want to reset our stepwise process. The first is Weiss and Hart. Right? The second will be Falconer and Arcadia. Or we skip over Arcadia and start with just Falconer. And the reason I say it like this, and don't feel like you can't push back on this. I want to hear your Falconer. Arcadia is a judge. Falconer is a justice.
I mean, Arcadia made a procedural mistake, but at the end of the day, it was just the state announcement. She wasn't the person pushing forward the legislation. She wasn't the one guiding the process. So at the end of the day, prioritizing her would be akin to her prioritizing impeaching Jaina over a state announcement. So to me, it's small fish. Did she fuck up? Yes, but
I'm running it back. Is that they should be put on the same impeachment?
Arcadia and Falconer?
Yeah.
I mean, they're so related. It makes sense.
Yes. I think that particular document we'll revisit tomorrow. Let's get the Weiss and Hart one prepared for firing tonight. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let me pop it open again. And let's upgrade those to impeachments.
Okay.
The transaction of the houses, was that within the 30 days?
Within the 30 statute? No.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think what we do is Serenade. Can you write a contest for the 30-day? Actually, do we want to do
written.
that?
We wrote it already.
We did?
Yeah. Give me a sec.
So I was deep in thought about some dogs. Are we talking about the 30 days for the ACRs, the shadow edit at the
Yeah.
moment?
I think I wrote it already, didn't I?
I thought it was part of your shotgun of the initial documents that you wrote.
Fuck, I write too much.
I think you had a separate document that was longer than this.
Was it in there?
I think so.
We're talking about the shadow edit, right? Of the statute of limitation
Yeah.
contest. Fuck, did I write that? Let me track it down. The original, no, did not have it. It had the referendum for the constitutional amendments, the revision to the legislative proposal and approval process, and then the impeachments in ACR. So, Tony, I mean, you found that. You could very well just work with Saren to write that contest.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
mean,
think
it's
that's
pretty
a
simple.
I think that's a smart idea, and I
Do we
can fire
want
them off.
to- Should we simultaneously contest the bank account one that we found too, Nino?
Yes.
So, Tony, the legislative authority bank accounts legislation contains a shadow edit in it as well, where the DOJ gave themselves the authority over bank account number 1, which is the state account.
What was the name of it?
Legislative authority bank accounts.
And I think Michael, I think he needs to, Tony, I think that, are you going to be leading the charge, Tony, on these impeachments?
The ones that we post up?
Yes.
I'd be happy to.
I want you to work with Michael to get them in the right format and make sure the right witness stuff is on there. Because Michael's wrote some awesome stuff in here. It's just not, you know,
I have to figure out the point of attack and organize
exactly. Right.
And I was tackling like 5 different documents at the same time, so it's a structural clusterfuck. Just tell me exactly what you need, and we'll massage it, Tony. But first and foremost, I think the priority is getting those statements from Sean and Jaina, right?
Agreed.
So I think, like Nino said, if you go through the 2 priority impeachments, being Hart and Weiss, and tell me what you need corroborated with a statement, then tonight I can go out and get those statements.
Okay.
This is amazing. All right.
I had mentioned to Tony and Michael.
Speak up there, Cernet.
I had mentioned to both Tony and Michael before that I would like to take a non-public facing role in this. The main reasoning is if it comes to a restructure of the Department of Justice, I would happily do so, but I think it would become take charge of that, but it would be difficult for me to do so if I was a non-neutral party in that matter.
I think that is a great idea. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like I said, if it comes to that, we'll see. But
all right.
And I am more than happy to be the lightning rod on the public-facing side of things.
Easy. Good fucking shit. I think we got a plan here. Should we revisit tonight, Michael, or tomorrow morning? Either works.
Let's revisit tonight. Let's give Tony a chance to go through what we've collected so far and what's been drafted. Tony is going to give me my marching orders. We can circle back, and then I can go out and get those statements.
Beautiful.
And as far as through all the documents, the priority right now is, I'm assuming, Hart and who else?
Hart and Weiss.
Hart and Weiss. Okay.
They failed to elect a director. Oh, there goes Saren. Okay.
So Tony,
The main thing that I'm seeing missing here is the formatting and the evidence, right? That without the evidence there it's just allegations, right? So if some of it has, we need some evidence in there, and I think those statements are definitely going to do it. Yeah.
Statements combined with the FOIA requests that we've put out, and then what Marshall Barrett has already collected, kind of ties a neat bow on the case we're trying to make, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Hopefully,
Tony.
Hopefully this does it.
Yeah. I'll be back in about 3 hours, Tony, which should give you enough time to do your thing.
Yeah, I got some numbers to worry about, but let's circle back when you fly back in.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right, easy. All right, gentlemen.
All right, gentlemen. It's my line.
Yeah, not wrong.